Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us with Martha Rockwell, who is the sole proprietor of A Plus Resumes and Career Coaching. The fact of the matter is the title of our podcast today is How Important is Networking in Today's Business Environment? And I would say, based on personal experience and the current situation in the world, networking has certainly changed over the past months, if not few weeks. But networking is still critically important, even though you need to approach it a little bit different way. So thank you for joining us, Martha. I really appreciate it. What would you have to say about networking in general in today's business world? And then more importantly, I guess you have some specifics to talk about with LinkedIn.
Let me just explain something, that there are 6 important steps and areas that people have to be concerned when they're looking for a job. First of all, they've got to have a good resume and a good cover letter. LinkedIn profile is important. They have to understand their work preferences, where they prefer to work, the type of company, the size of the company. They have to know how to network. They have to know how to interview, and they have to be able to manage their time, where they spend most of the time doing the right thing to end up with the kind of work that they want to do. Most people haven't got a clue. They think all I have to do is get a new resume, throw it out there, and hope that something sticks. So the basic job search hasn't changed, but what's most important is the importance of networking. That is one of the most important parts of the job search process, and I'll be really honest with you, it is the one that's most neglected. Why? Because it takes time. People want to hurry up and find something without really doing the homework that needs to be done. So that's why in the job search process itself, networking has not changed, because it's every bit as important today, if not more, than it's been important than in the past.
That is really good information. I was wondering, when you talk to your clients about LinkedIn in particularly, what do they have to say?
Okay, I'll ask them, I say, you're on LinkedIn? Yeah, I'm on there, but I don't do anything with it. Well, that's a big mistake, because number one, 85% of jobs are filled through who you know or by referral. And people have to know that you're looking, or people have to be aware of what you do and who you are before you can even make any contact with anyone. So as I mentioned, networking is very, very important. Because of the pandemic, face-to-face networking has been replaced by internet networking, and LinkedIn is the main resource that people use for internet networking.
The other thing I was going to mention, Martha, before we get into the, kind of the guts or the core of what we want to talk about today, is in the past, people talked about Facebook. But would you agree that over the course of time that LinkedIn has come up in its importance?
There's no question about that. First of all, let me explain that what job seekers do is they spend a lot of their time posting resumes and applying for jobs that are on the internet. And I'll be honest with you, we have learned that 65% of those jobs advertised have already been filled. So in essence, what they're doing is wasting their time. LinkedIn is the best way to reach out to the people that you know, and the best way to reach out to people that you don't know, in hopes of getting to know them.
That's great information. That really is. That's incredibly interesting. 65% of the jobs advertised have already been filled.
Correct.
Currently, in your opinion, Martha, what is the best way to reach out to your networking contacts?
Well, first of all, face-to-face is one. Making a list of everybody you know and reaching out to those people, that your accountant, your dentist, your doctor, your insurance agent, your neighbors, former employers, people that you've worked with. However, if you look at LinkedIn, this is a database that features information about over 700,000 people, and 85% of jobs are filled through networking, and LinkedIn is currently the best source for contact. And 89% of recruiters use LinkedIn to find suitable candidates. So if you're not using LinkedIn or just ignoring it, you're really cutting your nose to spite your face, really.
What now, interesting information in terms of detail. What do I need to have on my profile on LinkedIn?
Okay, there are several areas that are paramount, and I'm going to go through each one of them individually and kind of talk about that. You have to have a headline, your name, where you live. You could even have your current position title that you have. And then you want job titles of areas of expertise, which would be included in the headline. Now, you could also need an about section, which describes your experience and what you offer a prospective employer. And there's different formats for that. They allow you to have a skill section where you can list up to 50 skills that you showcase or that you bring to the table. You want to have a place where it shows your education, if you've volunteered for any organizations, certificates and awards, and endorsements. Those are the major areas that we recommend that you have some information on. Now, what about a picture? I've looked on some LinkedIn profiles and there is either no picture or maybe a caricature. It's not going to work. So you've got to have also a picture because that raises your ability to be contacted by over 26%.
It's interesting because I see a lot of profiles, Martha, on LinkedIn that when you said a caricature, we call that a Cupid doll. You know,
it could be a dog, it could be a bottle of wine, it could be anything.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Are there any specific rules to follow regarding the amount of information you can include?
Yes. For example, and everything on LinkedIn is measured by characters. For example, in your headline, you can only have 220 characters. An about section, you're allowed 2,600 characters. You are allowed 3 top skills to feature, but in the skills section, you're allowed to include 50 skills that you bring to the table. So those are some basic rules that you have to follow.
You know, I was noticing the other day that the URL for my LinkedIn profile shows my name with a whole bunch of numbers. Should I change it? If your URL shows numbers following your name, is that what LinkedIn has assigned to you?
Exactly. You can change that and make it more personal, but that is what they've assigned you. So it's always good to go in, and they do give you directions on how to change your URL, but you don't want all those numbers there. As a matter of fact, nobody's going to be able to find you because they don't know what numbers to put there.
Exactly. If I want to request or contact with others, what areas work best?
Okay, you can search people by industry, job title, company name, and location. But one of the best things are university alumni. Let's say I went to the University of Arizona and I could put in my search University of Arizona. So you want to include some of those things in your search or your request for information or request to contact people that will help you in your job search or just to make those business connections.
Boy, that's great information. I certainly appreciate you joining us today, Martha. I would say to the audience for this podcast, do not pass go, do not collect $200. Go directly to Martha because she is absolutely the major resource in career coaching and resume writing in the Valley. She's been at it for many years. She's got experience in all types of industry verticals. And also, she's very good at keeping you on track to do what you're doing. So, Martha, thank you for joining us. I certainly appreciate it. Again, Martha Rockwell, sole proprietor of A+ Resumes and Career Coaching. And next time, what are we going to have on the podcast next time, Martha?
Well, I'm going to have a surprise.
Going to have a surprise? Okay, well, that's good. I love surprises. So everybody that's been listening, thank you so much for joining us. We know that you could have been 100 other places and you weren't. You were listening to us on the A Plus Resumes and Career Coaching podcast.
Okay, I do want to add something, Randy, before we sign off.
Okay.
Please go to my website. You can contact me through my website, or you can email me through prostrategies@cox.net. Feel free to call me on my cell, 602-499-3138, or on my landline, 480-663-0681. I will be more than happy to call to talk to you if you have any questions regarding the job search process or regarding my service. Please contact me, and I'll be glad to take some time with you on the telephone.
Great information, Martha, and thanks for the close. So anyway, we will be back again next week with some surprises, according to Martha, and we will be there with a smile on our face waiting for you. Thanks so much.